Fire it away.
Alright. Hi, guys. Welcome back to our couch. Hope you have your coffee or your tea. I've got tea today. I'm going Earl Grey. What are you going for?
Tea every day.
I'm
It's not like you're a coffee drinker.
I'm never a coffee drinker.
You make that sound like you alternate. No.
I
You're
don't.
like me. We have tea every time.
And it's black tea every time.
And it's black tea every time.
I've really tried the flavored stuff. I don't care for it.
I can do green tea.
Yeah.
It's fine, like jasmine green tea.
But
yeah, the herbals, except for
Can't do
chamomile.
herbal.
I can do chamomile.
Can you be allergic to chamomile?
I don't know.
I get this weird tickle in my throat whenever I drink chamomile, so I just don't drink it
I can
anymore.
do chamomile, but any of those
Unless everybody else feels that, and then I'm normal.
But anything other than those fruity herbal infusions, so not my literal cup of tea.
No, exactly. I can do mango in black tea. I could do peach in white tea.
You like pineapple too.
I can do pineapple in black tea.
You can do fruit and black tea, but you
do
can't
fruit.
do herbal.
No, mint I'm not into. The only thing I break away from is when I'm feeling sick, I'll have sage tea with some lemon in it. Other than that, the black tea it is.
Introduce yourself.
Oh yeah. Hi guys, I'm Alicia, also known as AK47 on Ravelry.
I threw her for a loop by
Yeah, we started
making
off
the
conversating.
tea, and she forgot to introduce herself. And I'm Lizzie215 on Ravelry. In real life, I go by Liz. So.
And on Instagram, you can find me as Lupin Hook, which is also where you can find us on YouTube. So this is Lupin About podcast, and as I was saying, I went Lupin About this week.
Where'd you go Lupin About?
The week before, because it's been 2 weeks since I saw you. Went out to Leavenworth for the first time this season for climbing. Went out a little bit earlier when Ryan was in town, right before the retreat started. But yeah, this time we got on some rocks. Did some warm up. 2 days of on the rock action.
Wait. Question.
Yeah.
Are you guys whole? Both of you still whole?
Yeah. No brokenness, no twisted ankles, no nothing. And
they are notorious for one of them breaking something.
Yeah. I've been talking to Sean about this recently. So Sean, my partner, and I do this sport together. So we boulder, which is rock climbing without ropes, but not like Alex Honnold's kind of.
Not the crazy,
not the free solo.
They go up at safe distances to fall on their mat.
Yes, and so we take out crash pads, which are foam pads that they fold up nice and wear as backpacks. And we just bought a new one for some high balls. So high ball climbing is when you climb things taller, well, around 15 meters high or taller. But these are freestanding rocks,
so
right? These are not rock
So
faces.
you got a cushier mat to fall from a higher distance.
Exactly. And it's got a little kangaroo pouch for the other pad that we already own. So precious. So I'm very excited. We're going to take that out Thursday and Friday. We're going to have our weekend different because last week we were supposed to go on our second mission to Leavenworth. And the day that we were supposed to leave, which is a half day for Sean and he's on call at the house, they had dead air at the radio for 10 minutes. So that turned into 3 solid days of 18 plus hour work. So we didn't go to Leavenworth. Short story out of that long story. And so we get a weekend that's different than our normal weekends this coming week.
To make up for last week.
So we're really excited to try out our new stuff. I'm so excited. Mostly it's for me because Sean is more respectful of heights than I am. I'm one of those kids that was jumping off a roof when I was, 7. Anyway, I could figure out how to get on my roof, which those are fun stories. So I've always been kind of a rough and tumble little girl. So now we have an outlet for it, and we try to keep ourselves a little safe. But yeah, we do get injured from time to time. Liz is correct. Usually it's Sean. Yeah. I'll stick with that. It's usually Sean. I think what it is a lot of the time is that I let myself heal. I let my body talk to me, and it says, hey, Alicia, you are injured, so knock it off for a while. And I'm like, cool. All right, I've got another hobby I do, which is knitting, so I can do other things. Sean's not so much. It's like, oh, it's just a little pain. Just work through it, and then it gets worse. And then he doesn't rest. So yes, we definitely have some long spells of injuries from time to time. And it's Sean. So yeah, we got outside. Have you been getting outside? It's been beautiful.
I have been getting outside, mostly with the kiddos.
Yeah.
We've been on a lot of play dates.
Yes.
Lately.
Successful? They're still friends?
No, I know. They're
good.
still friends. Very little drama. The worst drama.
They're still a little young for drama, right?
Yeah. True. But the worst, my son is the biggest point of drama because he's in that age where he grabs everything or he hits.
Oh.
Not like bad. He's just trying to get the kids' attention, and
mine.
they're like, it's like that, And so
that's his line of communication.
That's his line of communication.
Minion 2, no hitting.
Yeah. Minion 2, no hitting. He'll figure it out.
Because he's not talking full sentences yet, right?
No, it's just, but he is, there's a new word every day.
Great.
So it's a matter of time.
That's coming along.
And he understands everything you tell him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no hitting.
Yeah, no, he understands no hitting, but sometimes I think
he's still in practice sometimes.
Yeah. We're still practicing.
So water sports?
Yeah, we did a lot of sprinkler and pools and water tables.
Brilliant. Because you have one of those in your backyard.
Yes.
Brilliant. Well, that's good. That means some people are getting some sun. Getting some sun?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Are you knitting while they play? Or are they more you need to supervise and pretty hardcore?
I need to supervise minion number 2 pretty hardcore. Minion number 1 is happy as a clown by herself.
That's true. She's very independent. Fiercely, I love it.
But minion number 2, I need to supervise to make sure he doesn't eat anything he's not supposed to in the yard and doesn't beat up on minion number 1 too much.
Aha. Boys, yes.
Boys will be boys.
Looks like you're working on a hexipoof.
I am working on a hexipoof because I guess 1 week behind. Because this week still hasn't happened yet. So I didn't do the one from the week before.
Okay. So you're 1 back.
Well, technically 2.
Okay.
But I'm just 1 behind. This one will be for the last week that we didn't get together because I had to work. Mm-hmm. And then I'll start this week's.
So Liz is doing a hexipuff per week this whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, she's on track.
Yep. And we will stay on track.
That's good, because I'm not.
Yeah.
So I was planning on working on my blanket, too, doing 1 hexagon a month. And I didn't do April.
Sorry.
It's okay. About 2 weeks, 2 weeks into April, I thought about doing 1. And I didn't. And then a week before April was over, which is early for me, right? Usually I'm doing it the last day of the month.
The last day, yeah.
No, and then the next thing I knew, it was May 1st, and I was like, oh, missed it. Yes, that's over. Oh. So, I don't know where my motivation stands. I think I might just skip April, just let it lie.
Yeah, no
And if I do May, then I'm not going to stress about trying to do 2. And maybe one of these months, I feel like doing more than 1 in a month. We'll see. So that was our thesis. Theses are our projects that are going to take longer than 6 months. And I think you've been working on yours for a few years.
Oh, yeah.
I've been working on mine for a few years, too. I even was part of a knit-along that you would get it done in 2 years. I got halfway to that goal by the end of that second year. So perhaps I need more than a Cal to motivate and more than a personal goal to motivate. I really enjoy the construction, and you must enjoy the construction on yours because you don't seem to get too far behind on.
They're tiny. They're easy. I mean, it's an easy memorizable pattern. So it's the beekeeper's quilt. For those of you don't know the term hexipuff, that's what I'm doing.
She needs 300 and something for a small blanket, but you're going to make a big blanket, right? For each of your minions?
I don't know. We'll see how many hexipuffs I have at the end to see whether it covers like a twin bed or whether I have enough to make it a full queen size.
Yeah.
Blanket.
I might have been looking for other scrap blankets to do. I might be bored with the scrap blanket I'm on.
You're doing the mitered square blanket,
I'm
right?
doing the 10-stitch blanket.
The 10-stitch blanket, that's right.
And it has mitered corners.
Okay.
But now the corners are really far away. Yeah, so I don't know. But I'm thinking I'm going to finish the corner I'm coming up to, and then I'm going to do all my self-striping from Desert Vista Dye Works.
Okay.
And I think doing that perimeter might be really fun because I've saved only one color repeat from each one of the ones I've used, and I've used 18, I think, at this point, or around that. And I think I can get it around a couple times. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do one pass of self-striping, and then the next pass of variegated and tonal, and then try to see if I can make a second round in self-striping again. I think I just need something that will motivate the knitting, and I think stripes will help because then they're changing every 10 rows because you're only using 10 stitches, right? But I've definitely been looking at other things because I'm thinking I might be getting close. I might only have like 4 or 5 rounds left.
Oh, for what? Are you making it just a lap size blanket?
I think it's at lap size right now. I'd like it to cover the bed in the van.
Okay.
So I've made it a rectangle, but I feel like as it's getting bigger, that rectangle dimension is looking more like a square. So I'm going to have to look at that again. Maybe I can block it so it's longer in one direction. So we'll see.
Blocking fixes a lot of things.
Right. It might be my savior on this. But I feel like even if I'm going to cover the blanket in the van, which is 45 inches by 60 inches, that doesn't actually cover 2 people sleeping under that blanket, right? So
right, you need it to be longer.
I might have to make it wider than the 45 inches, just so that it'll cover Sean and I if we're sleeping in the bed. So that's the plan right now because I'd like to kind of see that come to an end. Or I'm going to add mitered squares in the length I need, which is probably the top section.
That would be cool. Right? Just do mitered squares, and that would make it kind of like a similar
super
to like
scrappy.
Super scrappy, kind of similar to like a
log cabin.
Yeah, exactly. And that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I might need to change it up pretty soon.
And that would be a nice change up.
Yeah, exactly. And it gets me 2 scrap blankets in one. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to start a new one. Because I've seen some of those.
The log cabin ones are pretty cool.
The log cabins are really pretty. So, yeah, I'm thinking I might have some changing up to do. But I think I need to get past my self-striping stash. Because I think it'll make a bigger square than the self-striping stripes I have, right? I don't want to have a self-striping end in the middle of the stripes, right? I want to see the full stripe sequence. So, okay, so that's scraps that we've been working on. You've gone through a lot of scraps.
I do.
So she just travels around with, a dozen?
Oh, yeah, 20 like mini
skeins?
Yeah.
And you just dive in, pick one out.
I'm not picky.
Go for it. That's awesome. See, I think I overthink my colors because you're not putting yours together yet.
No.
Right? So everything's a singular.
Yeah, everything's individual.
Yeah. And you're not keeping track of how much are blue and how much purple you're seeing, or do I have enough bright ones?
Right, I don't have to because I can put it all together at the end and arrange the colors that way. So that's kind of nice. I'm
jealous of that.
I think with a blanket like yours, I would probably be more concerned with what color comes next.
Yes.
But with this,
yeah, so I kind of spread my mitered square, my big 10-stitch blanket out, and then I put minis around it and see what
she maps hers out. She maps it out.
I map it out by round, take a picture, and then I keep those with me handy. But yeah, I'm jealous that you can just willy-nilly go for it because then you get more done. You're doing less thinking and more knitting.
Yeah, and I think it'll be fun. I think when we finally do put the blanket together, it'll be a fun project for me and my minion number 1. Yeah, my minions to do together because then they can pick what Hexie Poofs go where and
And actually, in a couple years, she might be able to start doing that construction because all it is putting a couple corners together.
You put the corners together and you thread them and then you tie
So she might just take over for your construction, which
I'm
awesome.
hoping maybe she might want to start knitting too, and maybe she'll start knitting some hexies, and then
that would be so amazing.
That would be cool.
Oh, that'd be a great memory blanket that you guys both put memories into. That's cool.
But she's very opinionated on colors, and so I'm not letting her pick colors now because I think she would pick all the pink ones, and then it'd just be mostly pink. So I gotta wait till her color.
So you could probably avoid your pinks right now.
No, I mean she likes it and they're fun colors.
No, you could avoid it now so that she can overload it.
Later.
Right? It'll be heavy pink, but then you find out, we only had 100 left. So
exactly.
We can disperse that evenly.
Yeah.
Well, I got a hoe done in this past week. I think I finished it last Monday when we weren't recording. So last week, if you were watching, we gave away this pattern. This is called Wallaby Way. I don't know if you can see it. Do I have something I can put it on? Maybe I can spread out the stitches for you. Wallaby Way, and that's by Sarah, who's one of our group members. And I won this during Revelenics. And I finally got to have some sock motivation recently, and I cast it on, and we did a giveaway last episode. And it went to Annetta, and Annetta's already started hers. So I've got to knit along. Can you see?
Oh,
there's a turtle in there.
Speaking of Sarah, thank you so much. She sent me the pattern as well.
No way! Are you gonna join us?
I can barely keep up with projects I have.
Yeah, but I don't think you have a sock on the needle right now.
No, but I don't need a sock on the needle.
I'm gonna enable.
I will knit it eventually, Sarah, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure to get that
It's a
out.
really fun pattern. There's 3 motifs you can do. I did the turtle here, and I also did a fish. I'm gonna do one fish in each sock, so that Dory's gonna be in one sock, and Marlin is gonna be in the other sock. The other sock I'm gonna do all jellyfish. So this one was a line of turtles and 1 fish, and the other one's gonna be a line of jellyfish and 1 fish. So I'm having super amounts of fun. I have not cast on my second sock yet, but I'm not concerned. I'm doing a knit along with another podcaster. Her name is Transitory, and she is the host of Pin, Feathers, and Pearls podcast, and she podcasts by herself, and she's out of Canada, and she's doing Stripey Socks Cal 2018. This is her 3rd one. I haven't participated in any of them yet, so I decided, stripy sock, I'm doing it. This yarn is Penguin Soup. She has been on hiatus for a little bit, but a little birdie told me that she might be coming back later on this year, so it's kind of spurred I don't need to hoard it anymore, and if I'm not hoarding it anymore, I can buy more later. So if she comes back, which I'm crossing my fingers that it's gonna happen, it's Penguin Soup. This is out of our BFL nylon base. It's called King BFL base, and it is called High Tea. It's got purple, a chocolate brown to represent the tea, I'm sure, and a creamy white. I'm really enjoying it. It's thick stripes of purple and thin stripes of the brown and the cream. Isn't that lovely? I love purple. So that's going with great success. I'm knitting those top down, but the pattern can be toe up. And it's actually very more intuitive going toe up. And you like to go in that direction, where I do not. It has an afterthought heel, but I didn't read the pattern before and didn't realize it, so I had already adjusted where the motif was going to lie on my sock, because I do a certain amount of stitch count on the cuff of my sock, and then after the gusset decreases, I decrease it further for my bottom stitches, so that in the end I have a smaller circumference on the foot of my sock. So because of that, I moved the motif over, knowing that later those stitches were going to move to the bottom of my sock, right? So then it would shift it over to where it was going to end up in the end. So if you like afterthought heels, this is the sock for you, but you can put in whatever heel you want. Liz tends to do a
Fish
lips kiss
Yes,
heel.
because I don't like picking up stitches,
Exactly. And
and I don't like it's short rows basically.
it's short rows.
I don't like wrapping
Which is
it
super
during.
fun. Yeah, and I like to do a heel flap and a gusset from the top down. I hear that they're in that sock architecture book that you have, that there's a afterthought heel and gusset technique in there too.
I think so.
So I'm curious about that. That I might try. I've tried other short row heels and they don't fit proper, and I don't feel like fitting a heel. Like, I already know what fits. I'm just gonna go with what I know. So, are you working on any works in progress?
Yes, I have
Yeah?
Minion #1 sweater.
Then let's talk about our sweater knit along, guys.
Yes.
So our sweater knit along is going on all year. We are in the second quarter. And I'm going to adjust the rules because I really like Liz's idea from last week that you can use any yarn that we've used this year as a finished object of any kind with this knit along as well. So I will change the verbiage in the title page of our knit along. But this year is tops. So as the main focus for us, we're garment knitting. So we know that not everybody does garments, so we thought to add to more participation, we would suggest using the yarn that we're using in, this current quarter or previous quarters that we've knit with. You can knit any base of any of the yarn we used on anything. You can participate in any garment, big or small, including ponchos. And the third way was to look at the designers that we used, either this current quarter or previous quarters, and make anything that they make. It could be garment, hat, footwear, whatever.
Yep.
So what are you working on this quarter?
I'm working on Minion #1 sweater, which is little sock arms.
Uh-huh. Are you
And-
liking the pattern?
Well, it's all stockinette right now. It's awesome.
So far, the judgment is kudos.
So I haven't seen you guys, since we did podcast last week. That's where I was 2 weeks ago. So I've knit like another extra 4 inches, I think. And this is
progress keeper in for you guys.
This is mustache socks.
That's a really pretty colorway. There's some charcoal in there.
Yeah, and this is her colorway is inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is Star-Lord.
Okay. Are you gonna go watch the newest Marvel movie
Oh,
and
hell
bring it
yeah!
along since it's stockinette?
Yeah, hell yeah. But we always wait till the hype dies down, so you're
Okay,
not going
so it's
to
not
a full
crowded.
theater.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we'll probably, I don't know if we'll go see it this weekend. I think we have a Broadway play this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, Broadway, but a play. So maybe next weekend.
All right. So the knitting is going well. Are you thinking you're nearing the sleeve drop off?
So it's 14 inches. Right now it's in the round.
Wait, you were going for 14 inches.
Well, no, yeah, I'm going for 14 inches. Sorry, that's what I meant.
It's not at 14
It's not at
inches.
14 inches. I'm going for 14 inches. The pattern calls for 13, but my Minion #1, she's pretty tall and skinny, so I figured I'd use up as much of the yarn as possible and hopefully go 14. And then once I get to 14 inches, I drop off well, you don't really drop off the
You just start doing a front panel.
You
and
start
back
doing a
panel.
front panel and a
Okay.
back panel.
Okay.
So you bind off like 4 stitches or something, or 8.
Brilliant.
And then you just start doing a front panel, a back panel, and then you seam the shoulders,
Okay.
and then there's some yoke shaping in there as well, and then you add the sleeves.
Brilliant.
So
So how far into the skein are you? Is it just one skein of this
it's just
main
one
color?
skein.
Okay.
So I'm probably about halfway through,
Okay.
a little over halfway through. Yeah, I always have a hard time telling, and I never remember to weigh the skein before.
Right. Because sometimes you do get a heavy skein, right?
Right.
Sometimes you get 105, and then you think you're at halfway, but
So I'm going to go to somewhere between 13 and a half, 14 inches, bind
Mhm.
off, and then work on the front panel and back panel. Should be fine.
Are you going to be playing yarn chicken?
No,
Okay. She's got plenty of yardage.
I got plenty of yarn, because this was a kit. Mustache
Mhm.
Yarn made a kit working with Telly Bean Knits, because the pattern is from Telly Bean Knits. So they
Construction going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
so they made a kit,
motorcycle. Okay, it'll pass.
They made a kit, and so yeah, I should not be playing Yarn Chicken.
Good, because you know how much that game is me.
Yeah.
Liz doesn't like to participate in those silly games like I do.
No. And I think I'm pretty spot on, or relatively
On your
close
gauge.
on the gauge,
Nice.
close enough that I should not be running
It's
out.
making a beautiful fabric.
Yes, it is.
So-
I've been liking it a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's it. That's all I've been working on.
All right. Well, last you saw my sweater, I was working on a sleeve. And I finished that sleeve. So I was there. And I got to there. I got into the same last stripe that I was in on the body, but I didn't do as many, I didn't get that full length like the body did. His arms are actually shorter than what I thought the length was going to be, but that's cool, whatever. It doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. Well, then I jumped on this sleeve when we didn't go to Leavenworth. Sean, like, it had dead air, right? And so I thought, well, we're gonna be here for a little bit, at least, right? So, I'll just get the sleeve started, and then we'll go to Leavenworth, and I'll come back to a started sleeve, because I think where I stall out is those transition periods. I mean, I had to pick up 7 stitches underarm, so it wasn't even a big deal, because this was on, it was a dropped off sleeve, right? So it really wasn't a lot of work for me to pick up the minor stitches underneath, but I think it was just getting it going. Like, it was at a stall point where things are on hold. I'm good. I'm happy with it. No, just pick it up and knit it. So I got through that sleeve because it turned out that Sean needed to work. So I got through that length, the first day.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to go pick him up because the light rail here in Seattle has a off period, and I didn't want him to be stuck in Seattle. So I went out around 10:30 thinking, sure, he must be done.
Or close to being done, right?
It's close to being done. We were there until 2:30 in the morning. And I told him, we got to a point, and I looked at him and I said, okay, Sean, I know you want to just put this to bed, be done with it, not come back tomorrow. But it's tomorrow, right? So at 1:30, we had this conversation. And so he wrapped it up in about an hour with his boss, and they made a list for the next day. Next day, he worked 18 more hours. So he wasn't going to get whatever he was doing
that
done,
night. Yeah.
right? So then the second day, I finished that off. I had gotten to the ribbing that night, and I just didn't have the needle I needed, because it changes from your body needle to your ribbing needle. So I didn't bring it along with me because I didn't think I was going to get that much done. And I did. So that was happy. It was a motivator. So because we didn't go to Leavenworth last week, I got a lot done on the sweater. So then I finished the hood.
Oh, you got the hood done too.
Mhm.
Wow.
And then I finished the button band yesterday. So I am done with my sweater. But look at all those ends. I'm going to have ends for days, guys. So let me see. It is a top-down raglan. From the start, if you guys were with me all the way through the sweater, there's a provisional cast on you start on. All the sizes start with the same amount, which is awesome. And then you raglan, increase, and go down. You drop off sleeves after a while. All my body sleeves match my sleeves, or my sleeve stripes match my body stripes, because I have wonderful friends. Wonderful friends. Westerly Whimsy sent me the colorway I needed to finish the sleeves. And then because I had enough for the sleeves, I was able to integrate it into the button band too, because I was playing Yarn Chicken like nobody's business. So I actually got to put 2 different colorways into this stripe. The skinny stripe is the one I got from Annetta while we were at the retreat, and I realized I
You
was
really
going
like
to be
ends
short.
to weave in. I would have just made the button bands dry and one solid gray.
I would. I was running out of gray. There was no way I was going to do that. Yeah, I will show you my yarn content in just a second. And then the second color is the one that I got from Becky. So, as a thank you, a huge nod thank you to the two people that helped me. I added your two colorways to my button band as well. So, yeah, just a glorious sweater. I used mostly 3 Irish Girls because I showed up. We got 3 skeins in our goodie bag, and that was all 3 Irish Girls. And they were going to be in the marketplace, so I thought, I'll just pick up the gray. That'll be the contrast for this. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly hadn't planned enough for this cardigan. I needed 2 more skeins of gray when I came home, so I happened to have Plucky in my stash, so I added her in here. And then I realized at the end of the retreat that they were 50-gram skeins that we got in our goodie bag when I thought I was getting 100-gram skeins. So then I knew I was going to not have enough blue, so Annetta gave me a blue from her mini skein. So I used 250 grams of blue and 400 grams of gray for this sweater. This was fingering held double. This is Emmeline from what's her name? Ariane Karen Lacosta. I knew it was a 3-word name and I wasn't gonna get any of them right. So yeah, really enjoyed the knit. It's stockinette, super simple. It's more of a conversation as a pattern than it is well planned out, right?
It's a recipe.
It's a recipe. And some people were complaining about it, but it is what it is. It's a simple sweater. So if you've done a raglan sweater, you can do this. But it's like 1 page of information, which is awesome. I did some modifications. Clearly, I modified the stripes because it was supposed to be solid gray and solid blue stripes, but I wasn't going to have enough blue, so I integrated some gray. I didn't do the increases or decreases in the hood, and I shortened the hood by 3 inches. It's enormous. A lot of, like, over 300 people have made this.
And they said the hood's too big.
And most people said the hood is too big. And I agree. And it has a really cool panel on the top. So this led to more modifications. That's why I'm showing you. I did do the panel that is called out. The shaping for the hood, I did. I just didn't do the increases and decreases that happened in the height of the hood. I changed the pickup for the button band because down here at the bottom of your cardigan, you're putting in a 2x2 ribbing, right? Well, that's on your size that you're going to be picking up here, right? So during those first 13 stitches or so that you pick up, I pick up 2 out of every 3 stitches because you're on the same size needle that you were down here when you go to pick up. And then when I got to the body where the stockinette is, I was picking up 3 for every 4. Did that until I got to these stitches. Notice that you're going in the same direction as your ribbing, just for these 18 stitches. Where is it? There. So in there, I picked up every single bound off stitch for those 18 in the section. And I decreased 1 on either side because it had a weird transition between those stitches. Right? So at that intersection, I decreased with like a knit 2 together. After I picked up there on the first round, I knit 2 together when I got to there. 1, because it was a great idea. 2, because I had too many stitches. I counted wrong. We were watching a movie during the huge, epic button band pickup of 2018. I am 4 stitches shy of 400 stitches for this pickup. I knew I needed a multiple of 4 plus 2 because these needed to be symmetrical, right? It had to start and end on the same thing, right? So in order to make that happen, I had to do some fun picking up. So I didn't get into it. It took me 6 hours to pick up properly. And then to find out I had 2 extra stitches, which I found out after I did my first setup row, right? So then I had to take it halfway out, go up to that section on the hood and say, okay, if I were gonna decrease 2 stitches somewhere, where would I put it? Oh, I put it on either side of this funny band they put in. So I was frustrated. It was 12:30 in the morning. Sean was like, no, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. At that point, you can't coddle me. No, my intention was to have symmetry on this period, right? It's going to bug me every time I look at it. Because I'm going to look at the zipper that I have to put in sometime. Don't know when that's going to happen. But I'm going to see that there isn't a purl across from a purl in your ribbing all the way down, right? That was going to bug me. So I went back, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was done. And I don't even know if I finished knitting that band. I just went back, did the decreases, and said, okay, now it'll be ready for tomorrow when I want to look at it again. Yet there are a lot of ends. Mostly it's just on this band. You see all my ends, guys? I have a lot to do. And then because I put stripes in my button band, I have some stuck in at the button band too. So let's look at the yarn chicken I played, shall we? Here's the yarn I used. This is Fisherman's Wharf by Plucky. I have 4 grams left. I have 1 gram in that guy and 3 grams in that guy. So yeah, just made it. And I worked hard to get these in. I don't know if you've noticed. You probably didn't notice because I didn't really show it. But the bottom stripe on the body is not Plucky, but the bottom stripe on his sleeve is. Because I'm like, let's just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. No more. I don't want any leftovers of that one. So I was making up places to put it in. One of my stripes was this 2 put together. This is Marco Polo. It is a tonal blue with a bright blue and a deep blue, paired with this speckle, which is the Ants Go Marching. I used a speckle for the first time. She wouldn't know it because I held it double with something else. Whatever. And then another 3 Irish Girls colorway. This is Capture the Flag. Oh, I have 2 grams of each of these left. And I have 3 grams of this guy left, Capture the Flag. And a little mini skein left. This is what Becky sent me so I could finish off my sweater. Last Plucky, I only have 7 grams left of this guy. So this is my main colorway, my main gray. That is Dire Wolf, also by 3 Irish Girls. This is 716. This is all that's left of what Annetta gave me. That showed up at the bottom of my sweater and the bottom of the sleeves, and a stripe in the hood. So it got pretty far. It's really stoked. I have no idea what the colorway is, but it is a speckle and some solid blue. And I think that is the end of my yarn. That I probably have 20 grams left of yarn, period, of all the things I use. So yarn chicken complete. I did actually get that last stripe that I was talking to you guys about on the hood. I got that dark blue right at the top, so I was super stoked. Those went really far. I was really excited about that. So I have dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, all the way through. So happy. And then my grays are kind of mismatched, so it's scrappy. Every time Sean tries it on, he's like, oh, this is so comfy. This is the most comfortable sweater. So I'm super stoked. I don't know how long it's going to take me to tuck in those ends, I'll have a finished garment. That's the biggie. I think that's going to be the biggest one this year. It started in January, and it's May, so 4.5 months. It wasn't a thesis.
It wasn't a thesis.
Yes. But yeah, if it wasn't for Sean's mishap at work this past week, I needed the motivation from something to get that one going. So that's our sweater knit along. We have lots of yarns that you can pick from because that's my 3rd sweater of the year, and she's working on her 2nd sweater of the year. So we have lots of yarns to choose from. I have some progress on my Vacillate. This is mosaic knitting, which I'm really, really enjoying. Like, this isn't going to be the only mosaic I do, that's for sure. So I was nearing the end of my 5th repeat, which is where that loop-in progress keeper is. And I'm almost at the end. I'm like 3 rows. No, I have another stripe section. I did a full repeat since last I saw you, but I'm not quite at the end of my 6th repeat out of 8. So I am nearing closure on this one. But it still hasn't gotten that oomph it needs to just be finished. So I'm waiting for that to happen. I transferred it to Knit Picks needles, and I feel like these needles are a little bit bigger than my Hayahayas. So I was borrowing my 6s to do my sweater. And I thought, oh, how long am I going to be borrowing it for that button band? But it was only 2 days. So I'm going to put it right back into this guy and get some more progress. Notice I'm not talking about another sweater. That one's still in timeout. Darn it. I'd like to get back to the sweater I started a couple weeks ago. We'll see. I was really spurred to get that sweater off the needle because I kind of want to get a garment going for my mom for this year. Yeah, I think it's time to get some summer knits in my lap because that was heavy. How many skeins did I say was in there? Like 8 or 9? It was getting heavy and really warm, especially the button band because you had to keep the whole thing in your lap to do that motion, right? So I'm ready for something lighter on the needles.
Nice.
I'm sure you're happy to have a small thing on the needles right
Yep.
now. Yay for small minions. I think that's all my knitting. Have you gotten anything in the mail?
Nope.
I'm expecting something in the mail.
What you expecting?
A birthday gift for my husband.
Ooh.
I'm really excited. He went on a fiber mission. So I was having, I couldn't push the button, right? Couldn't make the purchase. I wanted the thing, and I was really excited about it. And so I just sent it to Sean.
And he pushed the button for you?
He pushed the button for me. He's like, it's going to come in May, and that's your birthday. I said, you're right. I should totally have this for my birthday. So a few days later, he told me that he actually purchased it. So that was exciting. The Grocery Girls podcast, if you guys watch, I don't know who doesn't watch it. They have thousands and thousands of viewers. Okay, Liz doesn't, but Liz doesn't watch any podcasts. They are doing a, I guess it's a mystery. It's like 6 months of mystery. I bought the first one. And then the second one went up for sale before the first one even has been revealed.
Is
So
it
you
a
don't
mystery
even
kale?
No, it's a mystery package. So
okay.
they teamed up with Hugh Loco, which I've never had her yarn, and I've kind of been spying on her Instagram for about 7 months. You say 7 months, Alicia? Wow, that's a long time to watch somebody and not buy them.
Stalker
It's
much?
true. I've been a voyeur on Instagram, and
Stalker.
I just haven't pushed the button, right? And she had a chickens line last year. So she had a picture of one of her chickens, or I don't even know if they're her chickens, but and then she made a colorway with it, and sometimes they had coordinated skeins that made the chicken. Now she's on roosters, and man, some of these are beautiful. She is known for speckles, I think mostly speckles. So I don't know what's coming, but she's shown a sneak peek of the package that's coming, in a package, and it looks pretty full. So she teamed up with the Grocery Girls and Hugh Locos. So Hugh Locos is doing the yarn, and the Grocery Girls are doing the extras in the bag, and I have no idea. Now, one of the Grocery Girls makes project bags. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a project bag in there. But the theme of this mystery box that goes on for 6 months is memories. So I think they're taking a picture from their childhood, sending it to Hugh Loco, and then the package and the yarn is going to be associated with the picture. So I'm intrigued because I've been watching her take pictures and translate it to yarn for 7-8 months now. So she is spot on with her creation. So I'm really intrigued to see what this package is all about. Am I gonna buy the next month? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna stick with this was a special present in May and just be happy with it. But I think Annetta and I were talking about it when it first came out as an option to buy, which was in April sometime. And she's like, maybe. Or she has troubles with colors that she doesn't like being a mystery, right? She's afraid of what'll come and then she won't like it. And then now she's bought something that she doesn't think she's gonna knit, right? So, she's thinking of maybe doing it for her birthday. She's kind of like the idea of, oh, you did that as just a one time offer just for your birthday. So she's gonna try another mystery club thing. You've done some clubs.
Yeah, I've done several clubs.
Yeah. Liz loves every color.
I do.
So she can't be upset with anything that comes in the mail.
I like all colors. I can find something to knit with everything.
Yep. I'm picky on colors. We did one where you could pick cool colors or warm colors. I picked cool, and Liz picked all.
Yeah, I picked all.
So she didn't even go for cold or warm. No, just whatever. I was so jealous. And everything that came was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I've done other mysteries that I fear pink will come in the mail. This is my biggest fear. And then Sean, sees me struggle with opening the box and am I going to like it? And he's just like, just make it for me if you don't like it. So in a way I can do clubs, but I still stress that pink is going to show up in my house. And then it's just going to sit here forever. No. People are always up for trades. I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
And destashes are pretty easy most of the time. So if you guys are contemplating a club, I would say go for it. I did a sock club with Cookie A and I really loved it. I didn't love all the colors that came, but you could always just substitute it in because you got a skein of yarn and a pattern. Actually, 2 patterns. So then you could choose which pattern you wanted, whether you're going to use the yarn that came or if you're going to use something from your stash. I really like those kind of clubs. She doesn't do that anymore, but there are clubs out there that do that. I feel like they're sock clubs, right? Have you heard of any sock clubs that are...
I only know ones that do yarn. I don't know ones that do yarn and pattern.
You did Acres? Something Acres?
No Makers.
No Makers?
I did not do No Makers club.
Okay.
I did Space Cadet.
Space Cadet.
And that was just a mini skein club.
Wasn't it gradient over a year or something?
She has a never-ending gradient.
Whoa.
So, yeah, as long as you get continuous month,
you
can have...
It'll gradient into the next month.
It'll gradient into the next month.
That's cool.
No, it's very cool.
Could you get full skeins or was
you could get full skeins? Yeah, once the color was revealed, if you really liked them. No,
that's cool.
She was awesome, but I have like a year's worth of mini skein gradient, so I stopped because I'm like, I don't even knit what I have.
Yeah, that's true. But you could do so many fades. Have you seen all those fades that are out right now?
I could do so many fades. I'm thinking I could do so many sweaters where it just goes.
Yeah.
Just start at the beginning and go.
Just number them and just pick the next number. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's smart. Oh, I might have to think about that in years to come.
Yeah, She opens them like twice a year or 3 times a year.
Okay.
Um,
So you can get on her newsletter and you can get
yeah,
the
you can
announcement.
get there and no problem.
Okay. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in clubs and just needed some kind of review, you heard it here. I have really enjoyed clubs and I am afraid of colors to come to my house, but I still participate and I've been really happy with what's come. And being able to, I was able to trade with Liz when we did the Fiberista Club
Yeah.
together. And so if something came or she wanted to do a bigger project, we would trade off skeins.
Yeah.
Super easy. You have so many knitting friends, right? If you have knitting circles, you can find a new home for those things. And it's really fun to just have mail coming to your house.
Yeah, this is the part about the
Right?
mail.
You had mail coming from Germany for a year because you
Oh
did
yeah, because I
Strict
did.
Knit.
See, yeah, Strict Mick was another club. That one was cool because that one you did get pattern
Yeah.
and yarn, and
That's a pay up front, and you get a full year of stuff.
Yeah, you
right?
get- you
Like
get-
4 shipments.
3 or 4 shipments. I
Yeah.
can't remember which one.
She has knit-alongs associated with it. That's what I like about the ones that come with pattern and yarn because
Yeah.
there's knit-alongs right away.
Right, I do prefer that. And
I really liked being able to choose color in one. I really liked her gradient idea. Oh my goodness, I've seen some of those boxes come in, and that was pretty special. And to know that they were linked to your next shipment,
Yeah.
that's just brilliant. Especially as I said, with all those find your fade
Yeah,
sweaters
it's-
and shawls,
Yep.
that makes it a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
And which means you could start when the first shipment comes and know that the next one, by the time you're ready to knit the next thing,
Yeah.
it'll be ready to go. Oh, that's awesome. So would you know that yellow was, well, you'd kind of know what was next by the gradient that came.
You would just want to know what her what would be the switch up, like what color is it going to
Change to.
change to.
Yeah.
But
That's so cool.
if you're not picky like me, just go for it.
Do some clubs. Support your local indie dyers or not local. God, that shipment from Germany must have been.
That one was always fun to get. It was super fun.
Did it ever get stuck in customs?
Nope. She was an expert at
Proper
international-
label.
proper label, international shipping. Well, she
Good.
ships all over the world.
Yeah.
So
That's Martina Bam.
yeah.
She's
So
amazing, and I love everything that she produces as far as
yeah,
patterns go.
she has a really interesting way of her brain thinks of interesting way to construct things. So
in simple.
yeah. So
Simple
you have,
terms.
You have a lot of fun with knitting her projects.
Yeah. So I think that's how I got into my Cookie A club, is that I knew I loved Cookie A patterns. And the yarn was going to be the bonus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you knew Martina Bam patterns were amazing.
Right.
And you knew you were getting international yarn. So
Yeah.
yarn you were never going to taste otherwise.
Probably not.
That's so cool. We had Retreat in the Box. We have a drawing to do. And it's out of 10 people.
Cool.
So do you want to fire up the random number
I
generator?
could do that.
So our prompt this time was, what's your favorite LYS? And it wasn't your local yarn store. Like, it didn't have to be close to you. But what's the best local yarn store you've been to that you love? It looks like Fiber Universe got the most votes at 3. But we have 1 through 10 for the draw. I have some, I think the Loopy U, I think they have a internet presence, so you could definitely
The
check
Loopy
out
U
that
does.
one. Yeah. Eat Sleep Knit in Dallas, Texas got a shout out. Fiber Universe got 3 shout outs. Marblehead Knits, which is my Saratoga Knitting, in her local yarn store in Marblehead, Massachusetts. The Knitter's Edge, Conversational Threads, Do You Sew, and you as in EWE. Prairie Lily Knitting, and Sheep's Clothing, which is actually local kind of to us. It's in Kennewick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I might want to check that one out.
I'm
Thank
excited.
you, Pocketses, for giving a shout out to Sheep's Clothing. I might have to check that one out pretty soon. So do we have a winner?
Let me generate. 9.
Number 9 is Penny J, and that was for a Fiber Universe shout out. That's in Peoria, Illinois. Never been there. Never even been to, well, I've driven through Illinois before. you been through Illinois before?
Nope, I have seen very little of the middle of the country.
Well, if we pass through Peoria, that's where we're hitting it
We'll
up.
stop.
Thank you, Penny J. Penny J's got her own podcast now. I think she's on episode number 4. She's had a giveaway, which was super cute. It was a little project bag that was camping themed. It was super cute. So I will be sending a box your way, and maybe we'll be able to see your reveal on your podcast. So until we knit again, guys, bye.